Hey guys, welcome back to day 3 of Gamescom. I'm Cam, I'm with Danny, and we just saw WWE.
Yeah, we saw some dudes wrestling.
We did. It was great.
Yeah, WWE, this is the latest in the annual releasing of wrestling games. It's always weird when looking at these games. I like wrestling. I watch wrestling here and there. I went to one event last year. I play with my buddies when I go back home and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as when you're talking about stuff like FIFA. You know, it's iterative changes and whatnot, and they're tweaking it. And the core gameplay for this is very familiar. It's got that low-set camera. It's got all the new improvements, like the animation stuff.
This one's next gen, Danny. Next
oh my
gen.
god! Oh my god! What does that even mean?
I don't know.
So the one thing that they do have, which is pretty cool, is they've got this WrestleMania mode, and it's basically celebrating the past 30 years of WrestleMania at this stage. So what they have is they have a bunch of the 45 best matches from various WrestleManias. So these are mostly one-on-one bouts. I asked if they had, like, for instance, some of the TLC things or maybe some tag team stuff, and they said they'll be in there as well. But what we saw was, I think it was WrestleMania 6, so it was Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior, when Warrior took the belt from him when he was the Intercontinental Champion. And the cool thing about this is that they have the filters and the television stylings of that era. Some stuff doesn't work, like for instance, they referred to the organization as WWE during that, which would have been, you know, WWF, years before, when it was WWF. So there's little janky parts, but the cool thing about it is that they have this objectives list, which basically runs down the 5 biggest moments in the match.
Yeah, so you're playing, because you're always one character in each bout, aren't you? And you have to beat them, and you can like try and hit these famous moments.
Yeah. So in that one, it was like, you know, Hogan trying to do the leg drop and the Warrior pulling out of it, and him, like, you know, the two of them doing the double clothesline, both getting knocked out. And basically when you trigger these, it goes into a kind of a pre-animated in-engine little moment, which is quite cool, and it builds out of that, and then you're back in the action. And if you do all 5 of them, then you'll get some unlocks. But like, also it's just more fun because it means the cameras do all sort of cool stuff. And
it feels like more of an event, you know? It's kind of punctuated by these famous moments. I mean, for me, I'm not a wrestling fan. I've only played these games very, very infrequently.
For sure.
But what I really liked about the mode is how you had, for each fight, you had these movies which were like highlights reels, like setting up the bouts in the context of the time. And that was great because it actually made me care, and I understood as someone who... So obviously that's there for people like me and also people like you who have watched wrestling.
For sure.
To me, you know, get all nostalgic.
I was watching it and I got goosebumps on it when I was watching it. So every single one of these basically has a promo, lasts about a minute long.
And they're really nicely produced. Yes, it's just, it's done really well.
Yeah, they're smashing. We also then played, what other superstars did we do? There was, well, in terms of like who they have on it, like Stone Cold versus Rocky's there. I think maybe some of the Undertaker's streak stuff. Shawn Michaels was there, Andre the Giant, Ric Flair. They've only shown off, like, they're basically going to have about 20 of these classic guys. They have 2 versions of Michaels because they have when he ended Ric Flair's career back in 2008, but then they also have like really classic era stuff from Michaels. But then they're also going to have all the modern roster as well. So we did, I think it was Daniel Bryan versus The Rock. Which so to test out normal, you know, modern wrestlers, and that's all there as well. So like, you know, it seems like a normal package for these games where they have to have all the different various modes. They have to have all the new pay-per-views. You know, you have to get Money in a Bank and you know, SummerSlam. And they have to layer all this stuff in, have every single game mode, have the career stuff that they had, which they kind of made a big deal about last year, and then they also have this new WrestleMania mode. So like, you know, these wrestling games, if you're a fan of wrestling, they are incredible because they basically let you live out any single scenario you want. If you're not a fan of wrestling, perhaps this mode might get you interested in a kind of a WWE Legends type way. Like, that was quite an accessible game. But you know, if you're not into wrestling, it's probably not your game.
Cool. All right, great. Well, thanks, Danny.
No bye.
Thanks you guys for watching. For everything else from Gamescom on day 3, just make sure you stay on GameSpot.com.